Hello, dear civil services aspirants. Welcome to the news analysis live session of 21st December 2023. Let us discuss one by one the important news from the Hindu. As usual, I want to tell you that you can take an daily current affairs examination.
Hello, dear civil
by
services aspirants.
using the link in the description, and you can again download the detailed analysis PDF of the news analysis from the link in the description. The first news we are discussing today is related to Gadi Shakti Vidyalaya. It is a new central university recognized in 2022, an university for studying the transportation science. How to improve the transportation facility in India? It is a university sponsored by the Ministry of Railway. We can see into Gadi Shakti Vidyalaya. It is a central university and in Vadodara in Gujarat. It was established initially in 2018 as National Rail and Transportation Institute, and later in 2022 it was recognized as a central university sponsored by Ministry of Railway, and it is the first university in India known as the first transport university and offers multidisciplinary program for improving the transportation sector approved by AICTC and the UGC, University Grants Commission, and the Engineering Higher Authority, AICTE, have approved this university. The next topic we are discussing is regarding a controversial bill passed by Jharkhand State Legislative Assembly. Jharkhand State Legislative Assembly had passed this bill on November 22, 2022. The bill wants to limit the domicile of Jharkhand only to the people who have land records of 1932 or before that. Governor of Jharkhand returned the bill, and now the bill has been again passed by the State Legislative Assembly of Jharkhand. As this bill, because the bill has a provision that the grade 3 and grade 4 jobs in under government of Jharkhand will be reserved for only the domicile of Jharkhand that needs protection from violation of the fundamental rights under Article 16, the equality of opportunity in public employment. Hence, this bill, Government of Jharkhand has asked the Parliament of India to add into the Schedule 9 of Indian Constitution to protect it from the legal proceedings or the legal invalidation. We can see into what is the 9th schedule, what is this Jharkhand Assembly Act bill. 9th schedule of Indian Constitution means if a law is violating the fundamental rights, if that law is added into the Constitution of India's 9th schedule by an amendment of Indian Constitution that protects the law from judicial review. If a law is added into 9th schedule, the law cannot be questioned in the court of law, judiciary cannot review. The 9th schedule contains central law also and state laws also. This idea of 9th schedule was introduced by the First Amendment Act of Indian Constitution in 1951, added the 9th schedule. Basic purpose of the First Amendment Act of Indian Constitution was to protect certain laws passed by Parliament of India from being challenged on the violation of Article 31. Article 31 was the right to property. Right to property was a fundamental right. 1951, Parliament passed certain law for land reforms in India. Those laws were violating the fundamental right under Article 31. Then to implement land reforms, even by violating Article 31, the Parliament through the First Amendment decided to create a new schedule called as 9th schedule. The First Amendment added 13 laws into 9th schedule. At present, we have 284 laws in the 9th schedule. If a law is added into 9th schedule, it is protected from being challenged in the court on the ground that the law violates the fundamental rights. We can see the Jharkhand law. And Jharkhand law is known as the Khatian Bill passed by the Jharkhand Assembly. It wants to fix the domicile of Jharkhand only to the people who have a land document belonging to 1931 or older. And the class 3 and class 4 jobs in the state will be reserved only for the people recognized as official domicile. The law will be possible to be implemented only if it is added by Parliament of India through a constitutional amendment into the 9th schedule of Indian Constitution. See the news on 6 people dead and 1,000 infected in suspected cholera outbreak in Rourkela. What is cholera? We have to study the disease cholera and the initiatives the government of India is making and the global community is making to prevent the spread of cholera. It is a bacterial infection and of the small intestine caused by Vibrio cholera bacteria. And it is a bacterial infection. It is mostly affecting the small intestine, mostly spread through contaminated water or food. It remains a global health threat, particularly in areas with poor sanitation and limited access to clean water. Every year, it is estimated that from 1.3 million to 4 million people are affected by cholera. Minimum 21,000 up to 1,43,000 people deaths occur globally. Estimating cholera requires a multi-phase, and eliminating the cholera needs a multiple approach of focusing on water, sanitation, hygiene, and vaccination, because in 1930s it was a health crisis like we experienced COVID-19 in 1921, 2020, 1920 to 1930, the decade, there was a negative growth of Indian population due to the cholera spread. And we have international initiatives to stop the cholera. Global Task Force on Cholera Control. It is a participation of 50 institutions, including NGOs, academic institutions, and UN agencies. Their vision is that they want a cholera-free world, and where cholera is no longer a public health threat. Mission to support the countries in implementing the global roadmap of 2030. It wants to achieve 90% reduction in the cholera deaths and elimination of cholera in 20 countries by 2030 is the aim of global roadmap of cholera. Global Roadmap 2030 was initiated in 2017, and it is supported countries in reducing the death by 40% since 2010. It has again, this organization, Global Task Force on Cholera Control, has helped the countries, including Nepal and Cambodia, to eliminate the cholera 100%. In India, National Institute of Cholera and Endemic Diseases is the organization managing the cholera. It is based in Kolkata. It's a medical research institute of government based in Kolkata. It was established in 1962 in the name Cholera Research Center. In 1979, it was established initially under Indian Council of Medical Research. It was renamed as the National Institute of Cholera and Endemic Diseases. This name, National Institute for Cholera and Endemic Diseases, was given in 1979. Our organization is recognized by World Health Organization of the UN, and what is the main role played by National Institute of Cholera and Endemic Diseases is that, and they want to do the research in the cholera research and control, contributing the development of oral rehydration therapy. You might have seen that in the childhood, the babies are given a oral therapy against the cholera, a life-saving treatment for cholera patients. The next news is related to Reserve Bank of India. Disinflation may pave the way for interest rate cut. In Indian economy class, in the monetary policy, we have studied in detail regarding the bank rate, repo rate, reverse repo rate, and the marginal standing facility rate, standing deposit facility rate reductions and the increase. Now, the term disinflation, I have explained in the class of Indian economy, the term inflation, deflation, disinflation, and the deflation. What is the difference between disinflation and deflation? Deflation means that decrease in the general price of goods and services. One item, the price initially was 100 rupees, then came down to 90 rupees, came down to 85 rupees. Now it is sold for 82 rupees, called as deflation. Disinflation means that the rate of inflation reduces. Inflation is the one item initial price was 100 rupees. From there, the price became 150 rupees. Then there it became 165 rupees. Initially, 50% inflation was there. Now from 150 to 165, only 10% inflation is there. The rate inflation is there, but the rate of inflation reduced from 50% into 10% is called as disinflation. The earlier one, the rate of inflation going below zero, and below zero from 100 to 90 means minus 10% is the inflation. That is going below zero is called as deflation. And the remaining topics and whatever we discussed in the class in detail regarding monetary policy, you can revise once again. The last and final news we are discussing today is World Bank sets up task force on multinational development bank reform plan. See, what is the multilateral development bank? Multilateral development banks are multiple, and they are institutions whose members include multiple developed and developing countries. World Bank, ADB, and the bank have different countries as members, which have to fulfill certain lending obligation to facilitate developmental programs in different countries. World Bank is an example. Asian Development Bank is an example. Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank is an example. They provide financing and technical assistance to countries and organizations to undertake projects across the sectors, including transport, energy, urban infrastructure, and waste management. Usually, developed countries in the multilateral development banks contribute to the lending pool, while developing countries primarily borrow from these institutions to fund their development projects. Then the news was World Bank sets up the task force on multilateral development bank reform plan. These are the important news today, and I request all of you to be regular and watch it regularly. And if you are missing the live, you can watch it later, and you can take daily current affairs examination and using to the link given in the description below. Thank you all. We'll meet again. Until then, bye. Have a great day.